So, this story this morning is called The Mountain Flower. Once upon a time, there was a young woman who loved to hike in the mountains. She lived her days dreaming about the next time that she would have a chance to head out into the wild parts of the world. Every time she did, she would feel a peace, an ease that would restore something deep inside her heart. This young woman had one mountain not too far from her house for which she had a particular affection. It was like a beloved friend because she spent so much time on that mountain. And on that particular mountain was an unusual plant that flowered every spring. And that flower was without a doubt her absolute favorite flower on earth. Now, as happens, time passed, and this young woman fell in love and hoped to have children with her love, and they were so fortunate that in what seemed like the blink of an eye, she found herself a mom, spending her days between her job and caring for her family.
They all loved to hike, but as her children grew, it seemed like more and more appointments and obligations filled their time. As the hikes began to be replaced by other tasks, this mama felt less settled. She was fine, and she loved her family and her life very much, but all the tasks felt a little bit forced, like somehow a trick had been played on all of them. The one spring Saturday, the family had cleared their schedules so they could head out to her favorite mountain for a hike. As they climbed, she came across that flower. And in a flash, she realized it had been a few years since she'd seen her favorite flower. And that realization made her feel sad, and a little tear rolled down her cheek.
Her daughter was watching her and asked why she was sad. And the mama explained that she had been missing this flower and hadn't even realized it. And now, realizing it made her heart ache a little bit. "I'm okay though," she told her darling girl. "It just feels like remembering a lost friend." Her daughter didn't quite understand, but she did not want her mama to be sad. And she knew that when she visited a mountain, you should try to leave it just as you find it. But she saw that there were many, many of her mama's favorite flowers growing all across the landscape, and she thought that taking just one plant would be okay. So she kept her cup out when they stopped for lunch, and as they hiked on, she paused for a moment to carefully dig up one small plant and tuck it gently in her pack.
When the family arrived back home from their hike, the daughter quietly pulled out that cup with the flower peeking out of the top, and she walked outside to find a small patch of dirt. Again, with great care, she dug into the soil and planted that mountain flower in a spot she knew her mama was sure to see on her morning walks. She went back inside and fell asleep. Days passed, and about a week later, the little girl remembered the flower she had planted. She ran downstairs to find her mama and asked her to come for a walk. They strolled together until they reached the spot where the daughter had planted her gift. But when they arrived, the daughter found only shriveled up leaves. A tear rolled down her cheek, and her mama asked what was wrong.
The whole story came spilling out. By the end, the daughter was really feeling very sad. "I just wanted you to have your friends close to you," she said. "That was such a sweet, kind thing for you to do," said the mama. "Thank you for loving me so much. But don't be sad. Those flowers aren't meant to grow here. They are part of the mountain. And I was sad when I saw them because I realized I had not gone to visit them in too long." The mama took the daughter's hand, and they continued on their walk. As they walked, the mama thought about how she had felt on the mountain, and about how the flower didn't grow where her daughter planted it in town. And just as she was about to speak, her daughter turned to her.
"You know what, Mama?" she asked. "What is it, love?" said Mama. "Those mountain flowers are smart. They know where they're supposed to live and when they are supposed to bloom, and they're patient the way they wait for their friend to come back and visit, even if it takes a few years. You're right, said the mama. They are really wise teachers. Let's go back and visit them soon, okay?
They turned and smiled at one another and agreed to head back to the mountains soon. Then the woman smiled to herself and closed her eyes, savoring that feeling deep in her heart of something restored.